Hello friends, this is Carrie and it is time for our August stamp class. This month we are focusing on some really fun, bright products and they come to us from the Butterfly Kisses suite. So I hope that you registered for the class, and if you did, we sent you a packet. So all you have to do to register is it's either $20 or it's free with a minimum order. So a lot of people just go ahead and put their order in. And then we send you the class packet. So it has everything that you need to create the projects as far as the paper supplies. And then of course you just add some adhesives, a bone folder, just a couple of ink pads, and then you're ready to go. And you're going to be able to make these cute projects too. So if you have the stamp set that we are using today, which is Best Butterflies, that's great. If not, you can always substitute something from your collection. And then the same thing with the ink pads. I am using Starry Sky and Calypso Coral. If you do not own these, you can use something similar. I would think Night of Navy would work just fine. And by the way, Dale is here now. I want to say hi, Dee.
Hi.
So that would work just fine. I think you could even pull in black and that would be okay as well. That would work just fine. So those are the inks we're using. Then you just need your bone folder, some adhesives, your snips, your take your pick tool, just some basic supplies to put the projects together. Now we are also using, as I said, the Best Butterflies stamp set. We're only using the greetings in this set. I try to design the cards for class so that you can substitute with something that you have. You don't have to have this stamp set. Kind of feel like we can get enough stamp sets in our collection. But I like to perk up the stamp sets that we already have with new ribbon and embellishments and paper. So this is a stamp set we're using. It is available in our new annual catalog that came out in May. And then these are the Build-A-Butterfly dies that coordinate. So when you purchase this as a bundle, you do save 10% and you have some awesome products that you can create some really cute cards with. You have lots of options with these dies, don't you, Dee?
Oh yeah, I like them.
I do too. And then we've got these cute little flower embellishments. So if you register for class in your packet, you are going to find one strip of those. So you'll get one of each of the sizes. There's 2 sizes in each color. So that'll just give you, a little idea of whether you really like these embellishments or not. If you do, you can always purchase another package or 2 or 10. Sometimes I buy 10. No judgment, right?
No judgment.
Because they are super, super cute. So you'll get some of those in your packet. We'll be using those to embellish. And then we have the Butterfly Kisses Designer Series paper. And even if you are not a huge fan of butterflies, this paper is bright and fun. And it's got a lot of really cute designs on the B side. So you don't have to be a lover of butterflies to love this paper. You've got Calypso Coral, Fresh Freesia, Parakeet Party, Crush Curry. What am I leaving out? The Starry Sky. So lots of really fun colors and really fun patterns. This is a 6x6 paper stack. And I just love this paper. I think you will too. Okay, before we get started, I did grab some samples. So Dale's got those ready for me to show you what we've done in the past. We did a Butterfly Kisses bingo. I guess that's been back in May. So we made some fun projects then. And I think this may be, if I remember right, I may have made this on a Facebook Live. But anyway, this is one of the projects that I have using these papers and the dies and the stamps. So you can tell that they're really bright and fun. Here you've got another one, really focusing on the Designer Series paper. Just really awesome colors. Here's one in Fresh Freesia with that larger die cut butterfly. So hopefully these will inspire you. And then here we used, I think that's called the Posy embossing folder, and I hope that that shows up on camera. it coordinates really well with this suite of products too. So those are some ideas to just kind of get you inspired, and we will go ahead and jump into the first project. Now this is the very first project we're going to be making today, and as you can see, it is a sweet and simple card. It just uses some strips of designer series paper, a strip sentiment with a couple of those cute embellishments, and then a die cut butterfly. Now I found something to inspire me in our catalog. Wanted to talk to you about that for just a minute. When we do the new catalog walkthrough, when a catalog first comes out and we have our launch party, I always stop and tell you that there is a kind of an index for all of the bundles with stamps and then all of the punches with stamps that coordinate. But I never really have gone in and shown you the difference with these versus the samples that are with the suite. So there is an additional sample next to each of these bundles, and they usually use, the concept artists usually use a little bit different colors than what they use in the designer series paper. So I will bring this a little bit closer so you can see, or if you have your catalog, you can grab it. Let's see, we're on page 161. So I just patterned this card after what they had done in the catalog. So don't forget, your catalog is a great source of inspiration for you, and it is not cased or copy and share everything. It's not cased exactly, but it's still a super fun, quick card that I can make and just get an idea and run with it. So we'll go ahead and get the supplies out. So when you take one of our classes, we have everything prepped for you in the envelope. So first you're going to find your fresh freesia card base, and I've got to find my bone folder. So it is not scored right, Dee. That happens, doesn't it? So that means somebody else's is not right either. Hopefully they will be at the in-person class, but I'm just going to go with it on this, and I'll just make sure and turn that towards the back. Got most of that out. Sometimes I do that whenever I'm prepping. I make a mistake. So if you got one that's not scored correctly, I apologize. So this is just 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Inside you've got your inside panel. We'll go ahead and adhere that down. Get started. Being awfully quiet, Dee.
I'm just watching.
Just watching. So a lot of the times when we do classes that have a lot of die cut elements to them, and that's a lot of our classes, Dale does a lot of the die cutting for me. But school has started, and he is teaching geometry and AutoCAD this year, so I did my own die cutting. I guess I should not have said that until I made sure all the die cutting was done right too, huh?
It's done right. I promise.
We'll see about that. Okay, so I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit. What do you think of that?
I like
Is that okay?
Yeah.
If I put the yellow, or does the yellow really need to be in the middle?
I don't think the yellow needs to.
Okay. So what I did was just grabbed a piece of my small grid paper.
You want this one?
It's going to be too shiny on the... I have a piece of grid paper for the Stamparatus and the large grid paper that our awesome friend Judy Pierce laminated for us. That's really awesome. So I'm just going to line that up on the grid paper, and then that way, as I put this first little strip of DSP or designer series paper, it's 5.5 by 1 inch, I'll be able to line that up easier. Okay. So just to get me started, and I did leave, what, maybe 3/4 of an inch, almost an inch over on that right side. That's all I really need that for. But that grid paper, it goes with the Stamparatus, It's awesome just to have on your desk too. I could have used the other sides. That would have been a good idea. And then I'm just going to butt this little piece up against that yellow one, that crushed curry design. I actually think maybe that's even cardstock on the example. What do you think, Dee?
I think
In the
it
catalog?
is. Yeah. I'm almost positive it is cardstock by the way they got it lined up.
And I kind of like it better with designer series paper.
What?
What?
Depends on what you want it, you know.
Yeah.
Who
If you
want it
want more
for,
attention to the
right.
background, or, you know, they want more attention to the sentiment maybe. So there we're going to put our sentiment. We're going to put our butterfly, which I could probably go ahead and add it. So what I did is I just kind of brought the wings of the butterfly up a little bit and put just a tiny bit of liquid glue. You could probably also use a mini dimensional. And that's how I attached my butterfly. And on the sample in the catalog, they had a couple of butterflies, but they also put their sentiment over on the side. And I just wanted to mix it up a little bit. I probably came over a little bit more. Maybe their strips were 3/4 of an inch, but I just wanted to mix it up a little bit. Now you could also add some rhinestones down the body of your butterfly if you want to add a little bit more pizzazz to it, because we are almost done with this card. It's a very straightforward little card, but also very, very cute. You just can't help but make a cute card with this paper, y'all. I must have really believed in my stamping skills because I didn't cut myself an extra one.
There's two sides.
That's true.
I mean, what could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
The video was on, right?
We were just talking about that. When the video is on, it's amazing what can happen. Stamp that down, and I did not use a mat. See how I did.
Fabulous.
Is it though?
It is.
Okay, it turned out pretty good. Okay, need my piercing mat. I should have put that on the supply list, huh, Dee? Definitely using a piercing mat. An old, I know a lot of people don't use a mouse pad anymore. Your piercing mat, a mouse pad, even a stack of cardstock or newspaper, something to give a little cushion, and you do get a better impression. But yeah, that went pretty good. Then we're just going to bring that little strip sentiment with some dimensionals. Yes, dimensionals. And add that. So speaking of the video rolling, this is take 4 or 5. I've lost count. Now we are also, as you're watching this video, if it's Saturday morning, the 20th of August, then we're actually having stamp class here at the house as well. So this makes it to where we can do the class virtually and in person, because we've got friends all over the place, and busy friends too that can't necessarily come to the in-person class, but they still want to make cute butterfly cards. So we are, whoops, I turned it upside down. So we are making this video actually Friday night. How's that look, Dee?
I'm sorry. I like it.
You shook the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
Is it straight?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
No.
I'm sorry. Needs to come down just a little bit on the right.
On the right. It's so hard with the equipment up above to kind of see. Well, let me pass that to Dale for just a second. And he'll work on it for me for a minute as I find our cute little flowers. So anyway, this is take 4 or 5. I don't even know. But that's okay. So we have a little kind of inside joke that if the camera's running, something is going to go wrong. It's just the way it is. What is that rule?
It's kind of like Murphy's Law.
Murphy's Law, thank you. So I think this time what I'll do is grab one of these. It's actually the larger of the flowers. And then, so that's one in Parakeet Party. I'm trying to decide. another color. Maybe the yellow?
Yeah, I like yellow.
Yeah. We'll just add that at either end of the sentiment. And we have got card number 1 done, y'all. Super simple, but I think it turned out really, really cute. So don't forget to look back at that bundle section that gives you another, just an extra piece of inspiration. Okay. So speaking of being inspired by the catalog, we are going to move on. Oh, I think it's the next one. This next one is a really fun technique, and again, a super, super simple card. This is called the rip and flip technique. So it just uses a regular card base. We've got a piece of designer series paper that is 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and all I did was tear it, flip part of it over, and then add the sentiment. So super simple. But I'm seeing this all over, that people are creating these cards. So we're going to try one. So inside your envelope this time, just a very few supplies for this card. We have that crushed curry card base. Again, keeping it nice and bright and fun. We'll go ahead and work on that fold. You should have your white inside panel. Always like to add that. It just finishes off your card. Even though I think it would show up just fine to write on this crushed curry cardstock, I like to add it. And I know we've talked about our tip before. Dale cuts a bunch of these panels at a time, like packs of cardstock, so that we have them ready to go. And you can even do that with one package of cardstock. The white, cut it at 5 1/4 by 4. Have a nice big stack, have them ready to go, especially as you get into the holiday season where you may be making multiples of cards. Oh, I forgot about that. I included this little strip in case you want to go ahead and add it inside your card. Now the other thing is, I did not have enough of the designer series paper. I think we made, what, 18 or 20 kits, Dale?
I think it was 18.
18. So because this is a 6x6, you get 4 pieces of each of the designs of the pattern paper. And I did have a couple packages, but I didn't have enough for everybody to get the same designer series paper. So I thought, well, this will be fun. I'll do one of each. So I have this one ready. And then this little pattern. And you always want to choose something that you really like on both sides. I guess that doesn't really matter which way that goes, like this.
I like it like that.
So the key to this, and there's lots of different ways you can do it. You just cannot mess this up, that you're going to pull toward you as you tear. Now for this one, I did it pretty straight. For this other one, I'm actually going to do this on purpose. I'm going to put it more at an angle. So you're going to tear toward you so that you get that white edge as you're tearing. And then you just decide, do you like it like this, or do you like it like this? What do you think, Dee? I kind of like the, what do you think?
I was gonna say I like that right there.
You do? I like the other one, of course.
Well, do it your way.
If we do it that way, I'd want to flip it like this. I like the flowers. I guess they're all flowers, though. What do you think?
No, do it your way.
Do
Let's put it back your way. There you go.
So we're going to rip it and then flip it. So how fun is that? It just gives you a really cute little edge. You like that?
I do like
You okay with that? Why did I ask you? Because I was going to do whatever I wanted, right?
Well, and just the
I just like that better to my eye. But you love orange too, don't you?
I do.
And that Calypso coral. So we are going to put a border that's equal on the 3 sides, the top and the 2 sides, but I'm going to come down a tiny, tiny bit more than I normally do, because, and I may have done that wrong now that I think about it, I probably really want, because that's a nice white edge. Yeah, I'm going to make that work. I'm actually going to put just a little bit of glue on this piece, and I'm going to slide it under because I want the torn edge from that top piece because it looks really good. Just make sure you get them lined up. I thought I was going at an angle, but I really didn't, did I?
Well, you got some angle in there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And so every card is going to be a little bit different when you do this. And I know this will be something that some of you just absolutely love, and some of you it's going to make you a little bit uncomfortable, but it's okay. It's going to be cute no matter what you do. While I'm gluing, let me put this little piece in, and I'll do that Calypso coral side for you, Dee, since I didn't let you have the card the way you liked it. And typically, I leave a little bit of white when I glue those in, and I also do it before I put the white on the card base, but I'm just breaking all the rules, aren't I? So that just adds a little bit more fun inside and leaves you a little bit less room that you have to write if that's an issue. So now, let me bring my piercing mat, and let me find my stamp. And really, I think I want to go with Calypso Coral. Is that the right one? Yes. I think I want to go with Calypso Coral on this one as well.
No, that one would have been nice with the starry sky.
It would have. That would have been a nice contrast, but too late. Well, no, not really. I could always change it, but I'm not going to. So this is one of those awesome stitched circles from the Stylish Shapes dies that we love so much. So if you do not have them in your collection, highly, highly recommend these dies. They have circles, squares, and then also some banners. We've used them a ton. I know y'all have seen them before. So what's fun about this too, I purposely used a smaller circle so we could really move it around depending on how our ripped part looks. So again, this is the rip and flip is what I have seen it called. I imagine there's other names. And it just seems that we talked about this in our team meeting a week and a half ago, that it seems that trends kind of cycle through different techniques and trends and what we do. So this is certainly, I learned how to rip paper like that when I first started crafting. It's nothing new, but it's super cute. That kind of looks a little bit retro, doesn't it?
It does.
It's super cute.
It's
So
70-ish.
it's 70-ish. That 70s card.
That 70s card.
So let's come in now with an embellishment, and I don't know. I may go ahead and use one of those coral flowers. We'll get one of the big ones and just pop it maybe right up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's barely hanging on. I think
That's
I'm
good.
just going to use one, and I'm going to put it right up there for that 70s card. Super cute. So let me know what you think about the rip and flip technique. I love it. I think it's fun. Okay, now we're going to go back to the catalog for just a second. And I'm actually going to find this suite. I think it's on page 36. Yes, that's where it is. So this suite is just so much fun. And again, lots of samples in the catalog. So anytime you get to a page that has a suite collection, don't forget that if you love everything in the collection, there's the easy button, and you can put in that order code, or you can tell me that's what you want. You get one of everything in the suite with one code. So I love that. Now here is another sample that really kind of caught my attention. So I thought, again, why not recreate this, but put my own spin on it? So this next card has a lot of die cutting, but it turned out really cute, and it is inspired by that card in the catalog. So this one is really bright and fun. And again, lots of die cutting, but it was well worth it because I love y'all. Okay, and Dale loves y'all too. Like I said, most of the time he is the one that die cuts, but he was working. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. This time we've got a Starry Sky card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and it's actually scored correctly. That's always good news. And then we'll go ahead and pop that inside panel in. And again, if you have pieces of designer series paper, you want to put die cuts on the inside, you want to stamp on the inside. I was really good about that for a couple of months. That was my stamping resolution too, to be better about working on the inside. And then I kind of let that fall by the wayside. I'll get better at it again. Let me pull this down just a little bit. Okay. Give it a little back rub. That's what Judy says sometimes. And here, I've got a piece of the Calypso Coral cardstock. And so it's cut 5 1/4, I want to say by 3 inches. And I purposely cut it to where you would have a little bit of the blue showing on either side. Now, after I did this card, I thought I might have moved my Calypso Coral up just a little bit. I kind of got it a little bit low on this card, but it's really up to you. It doesn't have to be centered if you don't want it to be. Let me go ahead and do my stamping so that if I mess up, I can flip it over. Let me grab my piercing mat, and it's just going to be this tiny little stamp that says hey. And I did it right down in the left hand corner. And I didn't do a very good job. Let's flip it over. I find with little bitty stamps, they give me the most halos. I'm trying not to press too hard, and I didn't press hard enough. That may be a little bit crooked, but we're going to go with it. Is it, Dee?
Just a little bit.
Little bit. Just turn your head, right?
Right.
Okay. So we're going to put that on the card front. Make sure I put the glue on the right side, the correct side. And I just don't think I'm going to bring this one down quite as far as I did on my first sample. Let me see how that looks. Sometimes I can turn it upside down and I have a better idea if I'm straight, or if I'm really smart, I use my grid paper. Let me pull that down just a tiny bit. And see, I may pass it off to Dale for just a second to make sure, because he doesn't have a bunch of equipment up overhead. Okay. And then there's lots of little bitty pieces here, because we're going to put this butterfly together because it is build a butterfly, right? Why is that not lining up right? Because I've got it turned wrong. So that's one half. And then we've got another half of the butterfly. And then we've got the little body with the antenna. And that's just a little piece of cardstock. Thank you.
One of those cutout pieces.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So we'll
They
put-
don't all fall out. when they're
No, they
supposed to.
don't. I try to get them out. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere this designer series paper down. One of the things I like to do with 6x6 paper, and this piece is up. Oh shoot, I just messed up, didn't I?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I like to do like 5.5 by 2 inches, because you're going to get 3 out of a 6x6 piece of designer series paper. Does that look straight?
Like it.
So I really like doing that because it gives you a good bit of paper on your card front, but you're not completely covering it. All right. Yeah, I almost messed that up big time, didn't I? Save the day. And then for this, just putting a little dot of glue in a couple of places. You know, our liquid glue is super strong. You could also use your sponge dauber and apply a little liquid glue with your silicone craft sheet if you wanted to. You could even use, when you're die cutting, you could even use the adhesive sheets. That would be really smart for these little pieces, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll just line it up on that piece of white. That just really makes that pop, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And same thing here. Just a couple little dots of liquid glue. Doesn't take much.
Should be, if you had your little sponge daubers or your brayer brushes, you could put a little color on that white paper.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you could certainly do that. Add a little bit of color with the sponge dauber. I kind of like the contrast though of the white and the colors like that. So that's how you make your little butterfly. So quick and easy once the die cutting's done. Let's get some dimensionals because, of course, if we can pop it up, why not, right?
It's back to that. If you ask, pop it up. Right?
Mm-hmm. When in doubt, pop it up. That's what LaDonna and I used to always say when we first started crafting. When in doubt, pop it up. She would always ask me if I was popping up my elements on my cards, and I would say, do you think? Of course I am. Oop, I missed one of those dimensional backs. Okay, so then this goes on your little, again, this is a stitch circle from, there's a dimensional back stuck to my finger. Stitch circle from the Stylish Shapes dies. They are awesome. I use them almost every time I craft. And then I just put those two little pieces together to create the body. Or to create the wings. That's not the body. And then for the body, again, just put a little touch of liquid glue kind of in the center because it's going to hang off a bit on the bottom and the top. And I just thought it was so much fun to use these colors. So again, when you look at the sample in the catalog, I went a different route with the colors that I chose, and I just think it turned out really cute. Put some more liquid glue. I don't know, it may add this one go in the other direction. What do you think, Dale?
I like it.
I like that too. Make this one go this way. Let that glue dry for just a second, and then of course, we'll add another little flower. And I think this time, I may go with the coral one. No, that won't work, will it?
The yellow, I think, would work.
You think that would look good? Okay, let's go with the yellow one. It's not going to show up a lot, but yeah, that hay could have been a little straighter. But it's okay. It's like, hey.
Or, hey.
Okay, that's card number 3. Let me know what you think of that die cut butterfly. I just thought it was so cute, so fun. Now we are up to a project I'm so excited to share with you. And it's going to be a little bit different when you take your pieces out of your envelope. You're going to think, what is going on? Because it's not at all what you normally find. So this is a really cute gift card holder. And it is made with 2 of our medium-sized envelopes. And you just get so much real estate to decorate and have fun with. Look at that. How fun that is. Do you see the gift card up there, Dale, that I normally keep? I was going to show them that that can slide in that other pocket. There should be one in that basket. There may be one in a brown envelope towards the back. But it's got a lot going on here, and it's super, super fun. So you've got a place to write your message. You could put that in either one of these pockets. And then you've got your message. You've got a place to put your gift card, or even some kind of other little, like if you were giving this to a crafting friend, you could probably fit a package of embellishments in there. A gift card definitely fits down in there. So just a really, really fun project. And again, using 2 envelopes and lots of designer series paper. So let's get started on this one. Okay, so we're going to need this envelope this time. And we'll go ahead and get the base done. Got so many pieces. And honestly, it has been, what, week and a half, 2 weeks since we prepped all this stuff. So I'm going to have to stop and think what I'm doing. Can you double check and make sure the video is still doing fine? Good?
It looks good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I found the easiest way to do this was to take both of my envelopes, make sure the flaps were to my right. And then I'm just going to add this envelope on the right to the flap on the left. Now, I don't want to come all the way down to that score line. I want to leave just a tiny bit of room because there's a good bit of bulk to this by the time you get done. But you do want to use some liquid glue or Stampin' Seal Plus, a nice strong adhesive. And then just add your other envelope, making sure that your sides are nice and lined up. And again, bring it up just a tiny, tiny fraction. What, maybe a 1/16 of an inch down?
I like it, yeah.
So that, and I don't have that lined up perfectly, do I? Yeah. Let me get my line again. But make sure that you've got them squared off too, so your envelopes line up properly. Okay, I think I did a better job that time. So that's how it's going to look.
Give it the back rub.
Oh, yes, give it the back rub. Make sure all that adhesive, I probably could put a little tiny bit more right here. Let me do that right quick.
That's good.
Okay. So then the best part is it's time to decorate. So the very first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do my stamping. When I made the sample, the very last thing I did was my stamping, and that makes me a little bit nervous. I did not clean this stamp good, Dale. Do you mind doing that right quick for me as I get things ready here? So I'll show you again. What I stamped on the inside is the Bestie stamp. You are my bestie. That is my favorite stamp in this set. Thought that was really, really cute. Thank you. Didn't do the greatest job of cleaning that, or I think I've just gotten quite a bit of ink down inside there. So I leave a little bit more glue right here as well. Okay, I think that flap's ready now. So I like this stamped on the inside here, but I could maybe even move it over to the other side. I hope I'm not getting my head in the camera. Just a nice, bold, cute sentiment. You could also stamp some butterflies. You could die cut some butterflies. Lots more that you could do if you want to. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I've got a piece of cardstock cut for the back. And it's a little bit of a, what did we do, Dale? The measurements, we may have to go back, or you may just want to measure the pieces. What we ended up doing was really use an envelope as like a template, and we kind of went from there. It is very odd measurements, like, what was it, 18?
It was 5 and it was like
8/16, or it was just really odd measurements.
5/16.
5/16.
Yeah.
And so we just went ahead, and Dale kind of made a template. For this one, I cut it down a little bit so that you could see part of the envelope, but I thought that would make the edges too weak. So I'll show you when we get to the front what we did. Just lined the paper up basically and used a pencil mark to cut off the excess, because it was just easier to do it that way than try to cut with the measurements. Now all of your pieces are cut and ready to go, but if you wanted to recreate this project, so this piece goes on the back rub. Get that glue.
The back rub.
Giving that glue. And I have got a gluey mess. I'm going to have to work on that here in a minute. And then I guess let's do the front next. So for the front, we've got a piece of designer series paper, and I may just have to see which one are we doing on the front. Looks like this one, huh? Oh. What do you think?
When you did that, I was like, wow.
Let me look at my pieces for my flaps and make sure. Oh, that would look really cute. So you've got 2 different pieces for your flap, the top, the outside and the inside of your flap. So you've got options. You've got options. That would look cute. That's the way we're gonna go. Okay. So first of all, I will adhere this piece, and actually that's not the way I should do it. I should put the adhesive on the envelope flap, because that piece is too big. You really only need about a 2.5 by 6 inch piece to do your flap, but I just cut that paper in half and gave you 3 inches by 6 inches. So we're going to put this little stripe on the front of that. And once that dries for just a second, what did I do? Oh, I don't have it lined up good. Hold on. Let's try that again. I've got glue on my fingers. That's not helping. It's still not. Yeah, that's better. Now I've got too much glue on my fingers. Give me just 1 second. I may pass that over to Dale right quick and let him trim it for just a second while I get a little bit of this glue off of my fingers. Okay, he's going to trim around that edge for me. And then we'll look at our other pieces. So inside you've also got your closure, little Velcro dot that we used. And I can go ahead and work on the little inside card right quick. So he is just trimming that piece off the flap, because then we're going to also put a piece on the inside flap as well. And just add this little strip to the piece of basic white. Now again, you could do some stamping on here if you wanted to. I just thought that made that card cute. Okay, B. So there's our flap. He worked on that. Now let's do the inside flap. It's this piece, isn't it? Try to do a better job of getting it lined up this time. Okay, I think that's okay. And then basically,
I'll trim it.
oh, you're gonna trim it for me? Great. So he's just taking the snips and going around that edge to line that. Okay, thanks. I will let you, and I'll complete the inside little card right quick. So just a piece of fresh freesia with a piece of basic white and then a little scrap of designer series paper. And that makes a super cute little insert. And on this one I did leave a little bit of white at the bottom of that card. That's what I typically do when I use designer series paper. I just didn't do that on the other one. And then I think we could also work on this. Again, I just pressed the wings up a bit so that I could put a small amount of liquid glue on the body of the butterfly. And then just added that to this closure element. We'll set that aside to dry. Thank you. So now we have our flap covered on both sides, and we're ready to add this piece. So again, this was a very odd little measurement, so we just put the 6x6 piece of designer series paper on the front of the envelope, turned it over, drew a line with a pencil, and then cut on that line. And this may still be just a fraction big, but we're gonna go with it. Really like that with that little design. It is busy though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So are the butterflies.
Yeah. It's so cute. So this would be like for really your bestie, an extra special person that you're making this little project for. So again, you can put your little note card in the top, or you can put it down in the bottom, either way. Now this piece has the butterflies on it, and I'm going to put it and justify it down to the bottom so that I still have room for that pocket. A little bit of liquid glue all the way around on this, and I'll bring it down to the bottom. You can see you can really use a lot of your papers and show off a lot of the different designs that you have. And we're almost done, y'all. Yeah, this is a little bit big, but it's okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our butterfly on. And we also have our Velcro closure. So they're sticky on either side of these. And what I did was just kind of find the center. I take the other side of the Velcro dot and add it, peel that backing off, and then close it down. So then I know that it's in the right spot. Okay. And then all we have left to do is add this little front element. And I put that on at an angle. So just put adhesive. And make sure I'm doing that right. I want it turned a little bit. So adhesive on this top section. And I will line those points up with the flap. So adhesive just on the top section to line that up. Okay, y'all. Cute little holder is ready. And we've got room once again for our gift card. This would be a really nice little card if you were making something for the office and you needed lots of people to sign it as well. All right, I hope that you have enjoyed our class this month. Let me go ahead and pull in some of the other projects that we made. So we had this little butterfly card, this rip and flip, and where we were inspired by the die index. Lots of fun, lots of bright colors. What do you think, Dee?
Like them.
They turned out really cute, didn't they? Hope you enjoyed these. Let me know if you need any help, if you have